I was talking to my mother, and she was talking about canceling her trip to go hang out with her friends. And when she said this, it deeply bothered me. And I just told her, because I think about it a lot, because I watch the way she moves, and I understand she has to. And I pray to God, you know, that when I make it there, I am going to make it. In the name of Jesus. That I can really take all that off of her. But I was telling her, you don't want to end up in a position one day in which all of a sudden you ultimately regret not having lived. You don't want to be in a position to where you regret not having lived, not living your life. Because that happens every day. All of us, you can never predict death, ever. And I wasn't trying to scare her or nothing. I didn't say that specifically, but that's really what I was hinting at. It comes out of nowhere. It comes out the blue. And you don't want to be in a position to where one day you just sitting there, you just really realizing that your life is gone. It's about to be gone in a flash. And you sit there, you're going to be really regretting not having lived. And that's a terrible feeling. You don't want to get old and realize, dang, I've been living here for 70 years, 80 years, and ain't lived, ain't enjoyed myself. The Bible, God, yes, we have, the Bible, we have all these, God has given us, I'm not going to say rules, but a set of principles to live by. A set of standard that is followers of Jesus Christ that we're supposed to live by. That simply require a little bit of self-discipline. And I'm not saying that you should go against those rules and break them. But there's nothing in the Bible that says we can't have fun. I don't think. Something that says that we're not supposed to enjoy life. We're not supposed to live life to the fullest. Jesus says, laughter giveth life to the bones, but giveth life to the soul. And it says something about no laughter or something, I forgot. And it drieth up the bones. Which means laughter, having fun, being in good spirits. I look at a small detail such as fruit. God made fruits for us to enjoy, which means that there is love, that there is goodness in life that we are supposed to enjoy. We're supposed to enjoy life. You don't want to get to a point in which you have lived and you on your bed and realize you ain't been living. Deathbed, that is. Deathbed, that is. And as I'm saying this, I really realized my pastor, he has said the exact same thing when he talks about, that's one of the main topics he'll talk about, having lived and realized you ain't been living. He's actually said the exact same thing that I'm saying. But I'll use an example of my life. For 2 years after the pandemic, when the pandemic was going on, I was a freshman, I was a sophomore. So I was doing school online both of those years. And my junior year, my senior year, I was in high school in person. And during that time, I went to school. I wasn't too much into my social life at all. I was on the football team, really on my senior year. But I was a part of it, both junior and senior, but mostly on my senior year. And I'll never forget, I went through all that time scared to talk to people, social life, homeschool. I ain't really have much of a social life on a high aspect, but I was always shy. I had bad social anxiety. And I didn't do nothing. I joined the football team first part of the year. That lasted, 3 months. Then I was back sitting in class doing nothing. Anytime I had chances to talk to girls. I did. Even though I was walking around, man, I ain't had no type of nothing, I still had blessed with the opportunity to talk to girls. Girls who were into me. I didn't. Left it alone. Oh, scared. Just focused on doing my work that I really wasn't doing. Senior year, same thing. I was just doing schoolwork. Man, I ain't even talk to people at lunchtime. I was by myself all that time. Scared to talk to people. I can probably had like 10 real conversations the whole school year, and that's just a number I just made up. So I don't want to make it seem like I ain't talking to nobody. But the main gist of what I'm saying is, when it got to those last 3 weeks of school, and that came to me that this was going to be the last 3 weeks I would ever be in the classroom. The last 3 weeks I would ever be in this setting of a schoolroom in which I would be a student. My last 3 weeks in high school, this time in which I see so many people talk about, oh yeah, high school, yeah. Mine was ending in 3 weeks. I slowly started realizing all the time that I didn't take advantage of. And when we got to that last day, then it was overwhelming. Then we got to graduation rehearsal. They played a video displaying all the seniors the last year. They went back in time a little bit to when they was freshmen and all that. I was looking at all this and I was like, I ain't in none of these pictures. Not one. Except for when they had threw the yearbook on there. But other than that, all the fun, all the kids socializing, they was going on trips, they was doing all this craziness, all this fun. And here I am sitting in the corner, still by myself, looking at the theater, looking at the screen, realizing that I wasted all that time. Realizing that I ain't had nothing to do with none of that. I feel like a big clown. I did. I feel like I wasted all this time and I would never get this time back. I'm going to college, but people say college is better. But I mean, high school, I didn't take advantage of it. Didn't join no clubs, no nothing. When I was off the football team, I was disconnected from all that stuff. I still knew people. I was cool with a lot of those people on the football team, but that's it. Other than that, I ain't had no social life after that. None. And I debate on whether or not I chose that or whether or not I was just too scared to experience it. Either way, when it got to graduation, and maybe I did somewhat choose it. I'm not big on big old social events. I've been a part of them. I'm an introvert. I don't see the purpose in it. No disrespect. That can sound a certain type of way. And I can go to a couple of stuff, a couple of little events, but it ain't big for me. But either way, just thinking about all those times that I just chose to stay alone, be by myself, all that came to mind. And when it did, I was very regretful. Walking up on stage, this is it. Ain't no more of this. I'm 18 now. It's over. That was very overwhelming. And sat down, I was like, man, this is it. It was crazy. It was a crazy feeling. And I still think about it because a couple of months ago. But the main gist of it is, you don't want to go through life like that. That taught me a big lesson. You do not want to go through life like that. You do not want to go through life realizing you did nothing. And I'm not going to say you did nothing. You're working. You're doing all the stuff you're supposed to be doing. But are you living? Are you enjoying life? God put us on this earth to enjoy life. We are supposed to enjoy life. Ain't nothing wrong with enjoying life, having fun, doing something, taking a risk just for your overall mental health. If you've been blessed, enjoy your blessing. If God bless you, enjoy your blessing and have some fun. Treat yourself. Treat yourself. That's how you stay happy. That's how you stay in mental health. That's how you stay positive. Treat yourself. Because you don't want to be in a position to where you old. Or even when you just die. Because that stuff happens all the time. And you realize you didn't live. And you realize you didn't do nothing. You realize you didn't do nothing. You realize you just wasted life. You realize you didn't live. You have to live. You have to enjoy yourself. There's a statistic I saw, and it doesn't really relate directly to what I'm saying, but I think about it, a lot of people that I know who live like this, and it says that 60% of people who lived a life trying to please others, trying to live for others, regret doing that by the time they get to a certain age. Once they get older, once they realize that most of their good parts of their life are gone, they say they regret doing that deeply. And I'm telling you, you don't want to be one of those people. You don't want to be an individual. Now, I'm not saying that, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying stop doing what you're supposed to be doing. Stop taking care of your responsibilities. Because too much of that will mess you up. There are people I know in high school who all they did was have fun. All they did was socialize, but they was never doing their work. They was never doing their work. They was never doing what they were supposed to be doing. And ended up flunking, ended up having to go back a grade, ended up having to go to summer school. That's all they did, socialize, party. So, I mean, that ain't what I'm suggesting either. I'm just saying, you don't want to do too much of any of that. That's dangerous. Doesn't really cause for any good in the end. Another example, a good movie called Raising Cain. In the end of the movie, you see this man. Well, that ain't no good example. That man lived. I ain't gonna. No. That's that. But you get the gist of what I'm suggesting. What I'm saying. You get my point. You have to live. You have to enjoy life and live it to the fullest. The fullest, meaning taking care of your responsibilities and enjoying yourself and living. I know people, seen people who ain't seen their family in years. They doing good in life, but they ain't living. And you don't want to be like that. I was doing good in school. I was making A's. I was doing good grades. I was taking care of my work. I was taking care of my business. I was studying hard. But I wasn't socializing. And ended up getting into college by the grace of God. Because I wasn't always doing good, but I was doing good in school most of the time in which I was dealing with my social life for the most part. But didn't at all, didn't talk to people, didn't know people. I found out people was going to parties, they was going out of town, going on trips, going to restaurants, just having fun, dude. And I missed out on all of that. I missed out on all of it. It really, really bothered me. Once I got older and realized, dang, I missed out on all of this. I came into high school not wanting to go to high school. You know, like I said, I was homeschooled. I didn't really want nothing to do with even going to no public school. At all. So high school, I didn't care nothing about it. But when I actually got to high school and now I'm a senior, I wish I would have gone there earlier. Because there's so much to learn, so much to understand socially. but you don't want to live like that. It's important to not live like that. That's important. But that's all I wanted to say. That's all I wanted to say. Live life to the fullest. Have balance in your life. All important. But goodbye. God bless.